Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors US, and today we're going to be talking about episode 3 and what a corker episode 3 was. The first two episodes we were trundling along, wasn't really going anywhere, but we've started to get some juicy moments. People are starting to fall out, and there's a plot on the horizon that genuinely could be one of the craziest things that the Traitors has ever done, which I'm really, really excited to see it play out. But before we get started, guys, make sure you're subscribing. We are on our way to 600. Last I checked, 565. Absolutely crazy numbers. You guys are smashing it out the park. I actually cannot tell you how happy it makes me to know that you guys are enjoying this video, or these videos in general, just the channel at the moment, and the support I'm getting is crazy. So thank you guys so much. Big love to everyone in the ranters, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for the advert side of this video. So let's just get into the video then, shall we? So at breakfast, we were left with the decision of who the traitors have picked. We didn't find out anything at the end of last episode, but we saw them decide between Bam, Michael, or Brandy. The choices were odd, to say the least. Brandy is being very outspoken at the moment, and it could pin it on Michael, so that's a smart choice. She's also openly said that she thinks it's Christian and Sari, so again, a very, very smart choice. Michael is a bad choice to kill because he's essentially one person that they shouldn't kill because he's the one that everyone's suspicious of at the moment, and therefore they'll be like, oh, maybe we should keep him because they're going to banish him anyway. So, like, what's the point of killing him? It's not going to... They want to create chaos, but it's not going to create chaos. It's just going to be like, oh, what? Well, where do we look now? Oh, Sari, Christian, Cody, hi. Oh my god, they all start with C. The three C's. That's an interesting one. But the last person was Bam, and Bam was their chaos pick. Their sort of, why would they pick that person? And I think that was the smart decision to go with. They ended up actually going with Bam, and they killed Bam. The reason why I think that this was such a good move is because it shows that they are trying to get rid of people that are going to make everyone's head spin. Why have the traitors got rid of Bam? What's the point of getting rid of him? He wasn't a threat. He wasn't saying anything. So why would they get rid of him? It's a good move. Send people into our head spin, and then you've just got people confused the entire time. So it's a smart decision. I gotta say, I was really, really impressed with this smart decision. At breakfast time, Kate is very much on the sort of warpath with Michael. Michael feels like he's being painted out to be a traitor, and he was like, oh, if Brandy goes home, or if Brandy gets murdered, then, like, obviously that's going to look bad for me, but, like, why would I do that to myself? And people are starting to agree with him. Brandy then came in, and it was like, oh shit, Bam's gone. Christian was apparently really gutted to get rid of Bam, which I thought was an interesting line. But then other people started to pick up on the fact that Kate had predicted that Bam would be the one who got murdered when everyone else was like, oh, I'm sure it's going to be Brandy. So people are starting to get a little bit suspicious of Kate purely because she's starting to say some things that are causing people's ears to prick up and go, that's a bit suspicious. So before we get into the mission, a couple of interesting points. Everyone seems to be spun by Bam's murder. Nobody seemed to have thought that that was going to happen, and so everyone's kind of confused. They don't really know what to do. And then we get onto Brandy and Kate. Brandy's still sure that it's Michael and Christian and Sari. I don't know how she's managed to get two of them correct, but my goodness, this woman is very intelligent, and I'm in pure shock at how she managed to figure that one out off of, like, not much information. Also, Kate is 100% certain it's Michael. She's a little bit too sure, and so I think it's making her look a little bit guilty, in the same sense of, like, the way Michael was gunning for Geraldine in the last episode, and then people were like, maybe he's a traitor. Kate's kind of doing the same thing, and so it's making her look a little bit guilty. But I find her hilarious. I think she's so brutally honest and upfront that she just comes out with some corking lines. Like, everything is just so entertaining and funny that she does and says, and I really do appreciate that. And I like her friendship with Brandy. I think they're a good dynamic duo, and yeah, honestly, pretty good start to the episode. So the mission in this episode was fairly straightforward. We've seen it before on UK1. It was the music challenge, and I gotta say, the music challenge was very entertaining on the first series of UK, and I think it was just as interesting as it was on the UK version. It was just a lot more frantic. I gotta be honest, again, I was sitting there scrolling on my phone, but I was sort of like looking up every now and then. I will say, I will preface this by the only time I go on my phone is during the missions. I normally do put it down after that because I'm having to write notes, or I'm like really paying attention to what's being said so that I can make sure I give you guys a decent account. But the missions, no one really cares about the missions, so like I'm not making detailed notes on that. They were doing fine. I think they managed to get like 4 out of 5 or something like that, and they were always cutting it so fine. Like when I tell you like seconds away from losing, they managed to like get the correct answer. So honestly, they did pretty well. I was impressed with them. $20,000 added to the prize pot. Honestly, not a bad effort at all. But I have to say, still very disappointed that these are like the same missions as season 1 of the UK version. I understand why, but like, come on, guys. Come on. Seriously? Am I going to have to sit for a US 2 with like the same ones as UK 2? Because like, how are they going to do the funeral mission? The funeral mission was iconic because it was Diane, but what are they going to do in season 2 for that? I don't think it's going to work. I actually don't think it's going to work. Oh no. Is US 2 any good? People who've watched it, I'm hoping that it comes out before Celebrity Big Brother does, so that I can cover it. But if it comes out during Celebrity Big Brother, might have to wait until afterwards. Or I might be able to do it alongside each other. Depends how much time I have in a day. You know, there's only 24 hours in a day, and some people just need to use it more wisely. Yeah, sorry, Molly May. So, some final suspicions before we head into the round table. Kate wants to send people home who have helped send faithfuls home. So the fact that Geraldine was a faithful kind of makes her think that Michael could also be a traitor, and therefore she's gunning hard for him. Brandy and Kate are kind of aligned on who they think. I've said who they think multiple times. Michael, Christian, Cirie. Again, I don't know how they've plucked Cirie's name out of the hat, but like, I ain't gonna hold it against them. There was a really important part where Kate started writing names down on a piece of paper, and I won't say what's on it because this comes back a little bit later, but just know the note was made about who they potentially think are suspects. And then we travel over to Rachel telling Michael that Kate and Brandy are gunning for him, and he's like, I know. And like, is that not suspicious to you guys? Because they were accusing me of leading a charge against Geraldine, and yet they're doing the exact same thing to me. So by their own logic, they're being suspicious. And then Rachel and I think they were with... Oh, I don't remember her name. The one with the glasses. I can't remember. She's this is the thing about this show, is that there are still so many people whose names I just don't know, or I'm just not entirely sure. Was it Angelica? Is that her name? The one with the glasses? I could be making that up. Either way, it doesn't matter. But Rachel was telling Michael basically what Kate and Brandy had been saying about him behind his back, and that's made him very suspicious. It's time for the round table, and this round table was spicy. This round table, and I feel like this is just the kind of thing for like US in general, US reality shows in general, when they have discussions like this, it turns into arguments and shouting across people very, very quickly. We've seen it happen in Survivor, we've seen it happen in Big Brother, we've seen it now happen in the Traitors, where big personalities just go at each other and it just gets a bit overwhelming. Like, I was trying to make some notes and so much was going on that my head was like spinning and spinning and spinning. I was really, really struggling to keep a track of everything that was going on. Quentin decided to start for some reason. He was saying, right, guys, we've got to think about who has been confusing everyone, who's been coming up with ideas, confusing people, and really sort of throwing names out there. What's going on? The person I think it might be is Kate. Honestly, okay, let me just break down what the traitors need to do in order to get further in this game. The traitors need to get Kate and Brandy out because Kate and Brandy are onto them. So the best thing they could do in this is to vote one of them out, murder the other. That's the smart thing to do, and then you've wiped them out the game. They're gone. No one else knows their suspicions. We're good. So the fact that Quentin was like, I think it's Kate, great, because then people just started jumping on. Michael was saying, look, you say that I was rallying the troops yesterday in order to get Geraldine out. That's exactly what you're doing today to get me out. Is that not suspicious? And some people were like, you know what? Absolutely fair and valid. That is very, very true. Brandy said some very, very... Were they mean? Were they spiteful? Were they just sort of good points? If you remember in the previous episode, Michael was very much like, I have social anxiety. I really struggle. And Brandy was like, well, you're not struggling today. What's going on now? You've got some kind of confidence. So what's going on here? Because, like, I have social anxiety as well, but, like, you don't see me struggling in these situations. And I think the exact quote she used, I wrote it down, was, you're not crying tonight. And the reaction from around the table gave me a signal that this was not going to go well for Brandy. Brandy's got some good points, some good valid points. But when she comes down to it, her arguments are not thought through. They're kind of just insults. And it can get just a little bit personal. And I think that is what the issue was with this round table, is that it got just a little bit too personal, a little bit brutal, and a little bit mean, and not in the spirit of the game. I also have a huge problem with, and this is something that I have to make a rule when I play these kind of games, no real life stuff. So when she was like, I'm not a traitor on my children, I thought that is not in the spirit of the game, because you can't use that as a defense, because if you're lying, you just look like a dickhead. If you're not lying, then like it just gives away that you're innocent. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, like, no real life stuff. That's why like when we play these kind of games with my friends, I say, look, we're not allowed to say on my life, on my mum, or on this, on that. Like, we're not allowed to do that, because it's not fair for you to lie, or whatever. It's not a big deal, but I remember that part, and I just remember thinking, ooh, not a great moment for you, Brandy. So it kind of came down to Brandy, Kate, or Michael, the votes. I was surprised, because this is the second vote in a row where none of the traitors have been brought up. But before the voting started, Brandy did say that she believes that it was Michael or Christian. Very interesting that she didn't add Syrian. That's very interesting, and I wonder whether that will come back in the future. But I did find that absolutely fascinating. So we are going to get on to the voting now, and the voting actually really surprised me. It was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be, and it had a little bit of a shock outcome. So Michael started. He voted for Brandy. Cody voted for Michael. Shelby voted for Michael. Angelica voted for Michael. Ryan voted for Kate. Stephanie voted for Kate. Kyle voted for Michael. Rachel voted for Brandy. Quentin voted for Kate. Brandy voted for Michael. Sari voted for Brandy. Amanda voted for Brandy. Kate voted for Michael. Azra voted for Brandy. Andy voted for Brandy. Ari voted for Brandy. And Christian also voted for Brandy. So Brandy was banished with 8 votes. Michael had 6. Kate had 3. I gotta be honest, shocked. When she got up there and she was like, I'm fucking faithful. And the entire room was like, rah. Nah, really? Really? I thought she was fucking faithful. I think that's why she got so annoyed. Because, like, yeah, duh. And this is also now, it's now getting in people's heads. This is the second trial in a row that Michael survived. So we have to vote him next time. You don't have to, obviously. He could be very, very innocent. But, like, it's tough, isn't it? It's tough. This game, it gets in your head. I would like to think that I'd be really good at this game because I'm good at sussing people out. So, like, this is why I want a series where we don't know who the traitors are, because I want to see how good I am at picking up the clues, working out what's going on, sitting in that round table, working out who's lying, because it's very easy when you know who they are, but when you don't, it's hard to judge. So, yeah. Now, I wrote a note in my book saying the end of these episodes are naff because they don't leave us on cliffhangers. Like, the last one didn't really leave us on a cliffhanger because it was just sort of like, oh, who should we murder? And that was it. It wasn't like these are the names, which one are we going to go for? It was just, we're going to murder someone. So when I saw that there was 2 minutes left after the round table, I was like, that's not enough time to A, finish off what's happened after the round table, B, get up to Traitors Tower, and C, give us names. So I was like, oh God, not another one. Not another episode that just makes me go, oh, okay, I've got to watch the next episode because I want to keep watching, rather than, oh my God, I need to see it now. I need to press play now. Because, like, what do you mean? What do you mean you just ended the episode? However, the episode redeemed itself. Because just as the round table finished, Stephanie was like, when Kate got up from the table, I noticed that she dropped a piece of paper. So I darted straight over there, grabbed it, went to the toilets and read it. And it was the note that they wrote, her and Brandy, in the bar. And it said on it, Shelby crossed out murder, Angelica. Guys, Stephanie's now got it in her head that Kate is the traitor because she found this note. Who did she go and tell? Sari, one of the traitors. Guys, do you remember at the start of the episode I was like, this is, if Sari manages to pull this off, frame Kate and then pin it back on Stephanie, that's at least 2 more days. That's at least 4 more people you can take out of the game. Because 2 murders, 2 banishments. I'm genuinely, this is why I love this show. Because shit like this happens and it sends everyone into a spin. I'm so excited to see the next episode because of this. So, without much further ado, guys, we have come to the end of the episode. I know, I can hear you all crying. But we will be back either tomorrow or Sunday. The Apprentice, I haven't forgotten about it, I promise. The virtual reality escape room will be coming out either tomorrow or Sunday. And then, obviously, episode 4 of The Traitors will be out tomorrow or Sunday, depending on which way around I decide to do it. But they will be out over this weekend. So get yourself excited. Make sure you're there or you're square. and I'm kind of running out of words, so I'm just going to kind of end this episode. So thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did like it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Keep on ranting. Bye now.